We have 5 sine squared x minus 3 sine x is equal to 0, and we've got to find all the solutions between 0 and 360. So it looks hard, but don't worry, you know how to do it, because what I want to encourage you to do is think about this. Think about algebra. And if you had x squared, let's say you had 5x squared minus 3x, what would you do? You would factor it, right? So that's the next step here. I'm going to show you. So we're going to factor out the sine x. And so think about that. I'll give you a moment. Actually, pause the video, write the problem down. I'm going to come back to this. Write the problem down and please factor out the sine of x and see if you know what to do from there. And here we are, we're at the next step. I factored out the sine of x, and we went from sine squared x. Remember, sine squared of x is the same as sine x squared. So it's so we've got 2 of them in there. Is that an okay way of saying it? And then we get minus 3. So we factored out the sine of x. And here's what we have so far. We have the set of 2 equations. Okay, equation number 1. We're going to take this. Sine of x is equal to 0. So I'm going to come here. The sine of x is equal to 0. And I went ahead and drew the unit circle. So we're going to have multiple values because, and I keep pulling this paper up and down, but we're going from 0 to 360. Okay, so we're going to have multiple values. We don't know how many yet. I drew the unit circle. And the sine of what is 0? Well, we kind of already know this. We've been through it. Okay, the sine of 0 degrees and 180 degrees is 0 on the y-axis. So we just found 2 of the equations that we need to find. Of the solutions that we need to find. Okay, I'm going to write down the 2 values we have so far at the bottom of the page because this is our endpoint. This is where we're hoping to reach. But we have one more equation that we have to solve. And here's what we're looking at this point. It's this one. We took the black one here. And I'm going to proceed. My black marker is giving out on me, so I'm going to switch to blue. I hope that's okay. This is my favorite part because it's easy. All right, so I went ahead and wrote that measure down. And I'm, remember, so we're just dealing with sine, where is it? Sine of x. So we're dealing with longer. All right, I thought I was recording and I just said a whole bunch and I wasn't, as it turns out. But so let's go back. So don't forget that the maximum is at 1. The minimum is at -1. And if we look at this, that's not 2x, right? That's x. So that means that the period is going to be 2 pi. But to get 2 values, and we're looking for 0.6, we're trying to determine what values are here at 0.6. So we're looking at 180. Now if we go from here to here, it's 360, but we're thinking about 180 now. I want to go back to the beginning. We're trying to find all the values between 0 and 360. All right, so let's think about this. Now we're half a turn away, half a full revolution away, if you think about the unit circle. So I went ahead and took the liberty of just doing 180 minus 36.9 and 143.1. And we've got one more value that I forgot about. And this is a hint. So it's also x is greater than and equal to 0, less than and equal to 360. So I forgot about this. Let's go back to our unit circle. When's the sign 0? We established it's 0 at 0. It's 0 at 180, and it's also 0 at 360. So I forgot about that value. We're going to come down to the bottom. We're almost done with this equation, which was it didn't hurt physically, but it was kind of hurt a little mentally. 360. And we're done.